You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a woman and a baby is killed in a fatal car crash in southeast Kansas.
And a fatal shooting in Des Moines, Iowa claims the life of 2 teenagers and injures the man who founded the school.
And we are continuing to track slick spots on the local roadways. We're looking at slushy spots as well. The snow is moving out. We'll break down our full forecast for today coming up.
Your state's most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach, and due to the current weather conditions and our commitment to keep you safe during these conditions, we're going to jump straight to Chris Warner with your latest forecast. Chris?
Yeah, we are continuing to monitor the light snow starting to slowly move out of our area. We've got, we're looking at the MoDOT cameras all around the metro area, and you can see roads are wet in a number of locations. In fact, they're wet everywhere. But we've also got slushy conditions to worry about out there as well. So do be cautious. Give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going, because the camera here at 7th and Garden Grove, you can still kind of see these little black ridges here and there. Still some slushiness out there, and you just want to make sure you watch out for that and the potential for black ice. You can definitely see where the cutoff is on snow across Kansas, and as we zoom into our area, we still have a number of highways with wet pavement, some of them still partially covered, and especially around the Parsons area here, you can see they're still listed as covered. So again, we can't emphasize enough to slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Good chunk of Missouri dealing with this as well, but here in our area, plow crews out there doing their thing. And if you're south, along and south of I-44, roads are listed as clear. I-49 going all the way through Nevada is listed as clear. But as you can see, especially around the Joplin area and points north, still a number of other highways that are listed as partially covered. Now the snow beginning to move out. We're still dealing with some flurries, light snow, and some light snow out in the southwestern part of our viewing area. But otherwise, it's starting to let up. Still some winter weather advisories for the counties in purple through 9 a.m. And good news, Newton, McDonald counties here, we've been dropped out of the winter storm warning, but we still have it for some areas through 9 a.m. as well. Looking at wet roads, slick spots at 7th and Rangeline. We're at 32 in Joplin, feeling like 24 with some flurries still coming down out there. Above average this morning, despite the snow. 32 in Iola, 33 Parsons, 34 Miami, Chatopa, and 32 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar this morning. Now today, once we get through this, we're heading for highs in the upper 30s to near 40, mostly cloudy, but it will be breezy, so it's going to feel a little chillier out there. And as we go into tonight, clouds begin to clear, so we lose our thermal blanket. Temperatures drop rapidly down to 22. That could lead to some refreezing out there, especially on side roads and rural roads. Quick look at the 7-day. We're looking all right Thursday and Friday. Rain Saturday turns into a wintry mix into Sunday morning, and then we're watching another wave of potential winter weather by next Tuesday. And of course, we'll keep you updated on all of that as we go through the next several days. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, as Mother Nature reminds us, the 4 states that winter is still here. And our very own Amber Jenkins is live out in Joplin to bring you coverage. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning, Tanya. I'm here at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, and I've been observing the roads, and they've been pretty soggy and wet. And I just wanted to remind everybody to be mindful of some black ice and, be cautious of not only the roads, but of other drivers as well, because on top, I see that the snow on top of the cars are like falling off as they're driving. So I just want to remind people to be cautious of that. Right now, the flurries are kind of picking up. I'm noticing more and more as in 30 minutes increments, of course. But, so far things have been pretty smoothly on the roads.
Amber, I see quite a bit of traffic moving. How are the cars reacting to each other? Are you noticing it? Are they driving slower than they normally would, or are they just pretending like it's a regular day?
Well, of course, we have some of, most of the people are driving very cautiously and driving slow, but of course we have a handful of them speeding down Rangeline, of course, and I just hope that they don't get any accidents, and I hope that they continue to start to drive slow, and everybody else who are already driving slow and being cautious, I hope they continue that as well.
And during this hour, a lot of kids will be going to school, so please be cautious. All right, thank you so much, Amber.
Yep.
Well, on Tuesday, authorities in Cherokee County, Kansas arrested a juvenile wanted for homicide out of Georgia. The suspect was wanted out of Henry County for felony murder, homicide by vehicle in the first degree, attempting to elude police, and felony theft. Officers found the suspect in a home in Baxter Springs and arrested him after 3 hours of asking him to come out. Authorities are waiting to extradite the suspect back to Georgia. And a woman at the house was also arrested. A crash in southeast Kansas claims the life of a woman and baby and injures 2 others. The head-on crash happened on US 400 Monday night, about 4 miles west of US 59 in Labette County, Kansas. Authorities say 30-year-old Valerie Montgomery of Parsons was driving west on US 400 when she went left of the center line and hit another car head-on. She and the baby in the car died from the crash. The baby was less than a year old. 2 people in the other car were injured. One suffered minor injuries and the other suffered a suspected serious injury. And there were 3 minors in that car as well, but there is no word on injuries. Well, gunfire cut through the city of Des Moines, Iowa on Monday. 2 teenagers were killed at an alternative high school created to keep teens out of trouble. And the man who started the school was wounded in the attack. Adriana Diaz following the investigation.
Several shots fired.
The calls for help came in shortly before 1 p.m.
3 that were shot, 2 are possibly deceased.
Police started CPR on 2 teenage boys when they arrived at the Des Moines outreach program called Starts Right Here. An 18-year-old and a 16-year-old both died at the hospital. The program's founder, 49-year-old Will Holmes, is in serious condition. Holmes, a reformed former gang member, is also a singer and rapper with the stage name Will Keeps. He started the nonprofit, which partners with Des Moines Public Schools to help re-engage and support at-risk students. According to police, 18-year-old Preston Walls brought a 9mm handgun with an extended ammunition magazine into the program Monday. When Holmes allegedly tried to escort Walls out, police said Walls pulled the handgun and began to shoot both teenage victims. Holmes was also shot. After the shooting, police say they conducted a traffic stop on a suspicious vehicle and Walls fled from the car.
We deployed a K-9 and we were able to track that third person down.
Police say evidence indicates that the shooting was the result of a gang dispute. According to Education Week, this is the 6th school-related shooting of the year. And it's still January.
The fact that 2 kids are dead, that's horrible enough. But to think that, we've got these few safe spaces that we kind of consider sacred, and now this has happened here at one of them.
Adriana Diaz, CBS News.
Well, coming up, the Joplin School Board unanimously votes to add a student to the board.
And later, our very own Amber Jenkins, who has been keeping an eye on conditions out in Joplin, is going to take us to a fire station in Joplin, learn what it's like to be a firefighter. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. All right, so here's one thing. When I woke up this morning about 2:30, I knew we'd received a decent amount of snow because the light from outside on the blinds was brighter, and because, of course, with the white blanket, the lights reflect better, it makes it a little brighter at 2:30 in the morning. 7th and Range Line, we've got wet roads, we've got slushy roads, so we need to be cautious out there. Take a look at MoDOT cameras from across the metro. You can see all of these are wet. Just to give you perspective, this is around 7th and Garden Grove. This is 20th and Range Line looking to the east. This is 32nd and Range Line looking again back to the east. And then we've got the I-44 camera that's looking back north along Range Line toward 36th Street. So you still want to slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going out there. Let's take a look at those road conditions. In southeast Kansas, we're still dealing with some wet pavement. We've got some partially covered roadways, and the Parsons area still dealing with some covered roadways as well this morning. So make sure you give those plow crews plenty of time and space to do what they need to do. Now on the southwest Missouri side, we're starting to see continued improvements. Along and south of I-44, we're looking at clear roads. Then you get into the Joplin area and points north with the exclusion of I-49, still some partially covered roadways out there. So again, just give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Light snow beginning to taper off across the area and will continue to do so. We're starting to see these advisories and warnings drop off a bit, but we still have some winter weather advisories through 9 a.m. and some winter storm warnings through 9 a.m. as well. Right now in Joplin, we're still reporting some light snow, light flurries out there. 32, feeling like 24 with a northwest breeze at 9. Across the region, we are above normal, but still cold. 32 in Iola, 33 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Parsons, 34 Chatopa, Miami, 32 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, and 33 in Nevada this morning. As we go through today, once the snow gets out of here by about 8, 9 o'clock, we're actually going to start to warm up. We're going to have a breezy day ahead of us, but we're looking at highs into the upper 30s to near 40 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, and then we lose that thermal blanket heading into tonight as we start to see the clouds clear out. So that allows temperatures with that snowpack to drop down pretty quickly to 22, and that's where the secondary concern comes in. So even though it's not snowing tonight, as we head into tonight and tomorrow morning, we're looking at the possibility of a lot of refreezing taking place, especially with snow that melts. So tonight, tomorrow morning, again, slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Now, once this gets out of here, this is not the only winter weather that we're talking about. Let's take a look down the road into Saturday, as we're going to be pretty decent, but then we're going to watch some rain showers that will start building in late Saturday evening. Then temperatures will begin to drop, and then, of course, as they do so, you know what happens next. That turns into a wintry mix and maybe some light snow across the area. Not anticipating a big system here, but still could lead to slick spots. And that is not the only wintry system that we have to talk about, because we've got more on the way. All right, we're okay tomorrow and Friday. We're up to 52 Saturday. That system comes in. Then we're only 29 on Sunday, 37 Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday, another chance of wintry weather leading into Wednesday morning. And then after that system gets through here, look at what happens to these temperatures. Down to 13 Wednesday night, 27 next Thursday, down to 5 Thursday night. And we only make it back up to 16 by next Friday. So we are talking a big cool down. And then beyond this, we're still looking at the potential of another winter system to come through the area again. So winter arrived last week. Mother Nature said, oh, shoot, I forgot it was winter in the 4 states. And now Mother Nature's saying, oh, and I need to really remind them what winter's about. So here's some snow. Here's some wintry weather. Here's some wintry weather. And I tell you what, we're going to throw in more after that. So we'll keep an eye on all these systems for you. But again, through the morning, just make sure you're taking it slow. Give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back. We've got something special for you this Wildcat Wednesday. We've got two seniors from Girard High School. We have Zoe Rhodes and Jonah Sanford joining us this morning. Thank you for coming in and braving the cold out there.
Thank you for having us. We're going to talk a little bit about the Youth Entrepreneurial Challenge that we host at Girard every year, and now it's going to be in other counties.
That's awesome. Okay, so it's coming up on a very special day, my birthday, February 9th, easy to remember. Tell me, what happens during one of these challenges?
Students have to develop a business idea and plan it out, think about all the financials, and they have to compete against other students and their business ideas.
That's cool.
So it's a 3-part competition, an executive summary. You do an elevator pitch presentation that's 4 minutes, so it's kind of like Shark Tank, and then you do the grand finale, which is the trade show, where students kind of show what they do without speaking. So it's kind of like you put all the colors in the presentation and the community comes in as well. So the first part is the executive summary. It's kind of a financial plan and a really detailed plan that students would have if their business was actually in fruition. So it's very good leadership skills and other things like that. And then my personal favorite is the Shark Tank 4-minute elevator pitch. They cut you off right at 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes to speak about your business, your financial plan, and everything that your business is about.
That's awesome. Have either of you guys participated in this before?
I participated the last 3 years, actually won last year, which took me to the state level. The grand prize from Girard was $1,000, so that's a really big motivator for competing.
I've also been in it for the last 3 years, and I got 4th last year, which was still really exciting. It's still a $200 prize, and it took me to the Joplin Regional Technology Summit where I talked about my business in a business plan pitch competition.
That's awesome. Okay. So how many students do you guys anticipate participating on February 9th?
I'm hoping at least 20. Split up between
Do they still have time to sign up for it?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
They have until February 1st to sign up just so we can get everything into Venture Dash. Last year, I think there was about 25 students that participated last year, but I'm hoping for more because I think we're hyping it up more now, and yeah, it's more exciting for students, I think, now that they know that there's a cash prize.
Tell me a little bit about, okay, so you've been doing this for several years. Why is this important for students to learn about business entrepreneurship and in our area specifically?
Well, business is everywhere in this world. You know, going to the grocery store, going to your job, buying things, selling things. You see all these business concepts all throughout your life. So it's important to recognize what these concepts are.
I think the students not only thrive off of it, but the community as well, because the community thrives off of entrepreneurship businesses, and those entrepreneurships come from our students at Girard High School.
Mm-hmm. And some of the biggest businesses start in the back of somebody's garage, you know, at one point. So y'all got to start somewhere.
Sure
yes,
do.
we do.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate both of you guys coming in, and I wish you the best on February 9th.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll be right back. The Joplin School Board Tuesday voted unanimously to add a Joplin High School student as a student advisor to the board. KOAM Shagun Bombadali was at the board meeting and has more.
In order to hear the concerns of students around the district, the Joplin Schools Board of Education formally adopted a policy that will give students a voice.
We made a formal adoption, second reading of a policy to add a student representative to the Board of Education, a student advisor, if you will. And so starting this month and all months thereafter, we will have a student at the table at all of our board meetings.
The superintendent says the model or policy has worked in other districts.
And then what we did is we looked at several different types of policies that were kind of model policies where school districts had some success with this type of program. And so we looked at those, and then we come up with a policy ourselves and sent it to our policy service, and they sent us back edits and rewrites.
Abigail Eckert, a junior at the Joplin High School, is the new student representative.
I guess I'm just excited to be this student representative on the board in order to express student concerns and then help in the decision making within the board and report to the board and report back to the school.
Abigail says she is excited and happy to start a new role.
So when I was chosen, it was within our Student Council Executive Board, and I was very excited about the new opportunity. And then I got a little nervous because it is a big responsibility, sitting at the table, being all professional. But I think altogether, I'm just really excited to get this started and see where it goes.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagmamdele, KOAM News.
Position begins immediately and runs through the end of the calendar year. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. Now, wicked winter weather took its toll on the 4 states overnight, and our own Amber Jenkins is braving the conditions. At least they're a little bit better now in Joplin. Good morning, Amber. And how is everything looking right now?
Good morning, Tanya. And yes, down here at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, things are looking a little better thanks to some plow trucks. The roads are looking a little better. It's not as slushy, but of course there are still some spots that you need to be cautious of. Traffic is surely picking up. I'm seeing everybody heading to work. I'm even seeing buses taking kids to school. So just be mindful of other drivers and especially those school buses carrying kids.
All right, and it's still pretty chilly out there, like barely, I don't even think it's above freezing yet. What do you recommend those kids, if they haven't left for school, to put on before they head out the door?
Yes, it is very cold out here. In fact, I am bundle up, I am layer up, so I really recommend those kids to layer up, wear some gloves, make sure you get on that nice heavy jacket because it's going to be your best friend today, I'm telling you.
That's for sure. All right, well, you stay warm yourself, Amber. Thank you. Well, the Joplin Chamber. Oh. All right, let's go to weather now.
Hi, how are you? We are looking at those road conditions as well. We have a network of MoDOT cameras, thanks to MoDOT, across the metro area. This is just some of them, and you can see, as Amber was saying, still some wet roads out there. This is 7th and Garden Grove. We're looking at 20th and Rangeline back to the east. You can see the roads are still wet. Same with the 32nd and Rangeline, looking back to the east, and the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline is pointed north toward 36th Street. And the roads are wet all across the board, and you can still see the there's some slushy spots out there as well, but plow crews have been out and taking care of business this morning. Make sure you give them space and time to do what they need to do. On the southeast Kansas side of things, we are still looking at some wet pavement, partially covered roadways and covered roadways, especially around the Parsons area. So again, slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Missouri, much of the state dealing with this winter weather, but here in our region, plow crews have been out. We are starting to see considerably better conditions roughly along and south of I-44, now even in the eastern part of our area. We're looking at clear roads. Still back in Joplin and points north with the exclusion of I-49, we've got some partly covered roadways out there. So again, slow down, give yourself plenty of time. Light flakes, flurries flying out there, some slightly heavier snow off to our southwest, but we're not looking at anything more significant today. Winter weather advisories continue to drop off for some folks, but the ones that are up here are still in effect through 9 a.m. And same with the winter storm warnings for the counties in pink. Those still run through 9 a.m., but they could be canceled early. And of course, if they are, we'll let you know. We're at 32 in Joplin, still feeling like 24 with some light flurries, light snow falling, and that'll start to exit here in the next half hour to hour or so. We're at 32 Iola, 34 Chanute, Chatopa, Miami, 32 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, Nevada, and 33 in Anderson this morning. Now, once this all gets out of here, the good news is we're going to warm up a bit. We're going to go into the upper 30s to near 40, mostly cloudy skies. We will be breezy though, so it's going to feel a lot colder. And here's the other problem tonight. We'll have some clear skies, and that's great. The clouds begin to clear. The problem is they provide a little thermal blanket. Once they're gone, the heat dissipates, and we're going to drop quickly down to 22. So the big concern tonight is, even though it's not going to be snowing, we're looking at refreezing as just plain likely, especially on side roads and rural roads. But even on the main roads, as some of the snow melts today, refreezing a possibility. So watch out for black ice, watch out for frozen spots along the roadways tonight into tomorrow morning. This isn't our only chance of wintry weather. We have some coming in this weekend. So our alert day wraps up this morning. We're all right, but breezy tomorrow, 35, up to 48 Friday, and then we're 52 Saturday. And then Saturday evening, rain chances move in, and as temperatures drop down to 25, that turns into a wintry mix, maybe some light snow that could carry into early Sunday morning. We're only 29 Sunday, down to 18, 37 Monday. Cloudy, but all right. Then we're watching another system on Tuesday that could bring us some wintry weather as we get up to 37. And then after this system tapers off early Wednesday morning, we're only 30 on Wednesday, down to 13 Wednesday night, 27 on Thursday, down to 5 Thursday night, and we're up to 16 on Friday. So very cold weather incoming, and we're watching the possibility beyond next week of an additional round of winter weather. And of course, we'll keep track of all of that for you. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the Joplin Chamber of Commerce kicks off its 30th annual Business Expo. The expo is at the Downstream Casino Resort Pavilion. It's the region's largest annual business showcase with about 110 exhibitors. The two-day event features a business-to-business day, that was yesterday, and a business-to-consumer day. The exhibitors showcase will open to the public today from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're wondering why people are dressed as pirates, it's because of the event's theme. Find Your Treasure in Joplin. Expo marks the spot. Well, some Southeast Kansas future business leaders had a chance to showcase their skills. The Girard High School Future Business Leaders of America hosted a competition at Pitt State. 330 students from 18 schools competed in a wide variety of business-related and workplace events, and some students got a jump start.
Once the FBLA events hit online, I jumped right onto it and I started creating things, working on my laptop, creating videos, everything that I could to prepare myself for today.
Each category of the competition had a different winner. The competition wrapped up with an awards ceremony. Well, this morning we're discussing therapy.
Yeah, Kate Swinson's 12-year-old son Cooper has autism and is nonverbal. His mom felt her fourth child was a little left out of sports, play dates, and birthday parties, at least until now. Cooper and 14 other young children attend music therapy sessions where they're able to have fun while working hard to improve day-to-day skills.
They work on fine motor skills, gross motor skills, interaction, imitation, and so much more. Plus, the children get better at sharing and taking turns while controlling their impulses. And now these kids are growing in the face of different disabilities.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Do you feel that therapy is important? So far, big shift from this morning. 90% of you say that it is. 10% of you believe that it is not. Make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
All right, we'll be back after the break with this year's Oscar nominations.
Well, the 95th Annual Academy Award nominations were just announced, and Everything, Everywhere, All at Once leads the pack with 11 nods. Jared Hill has the report.
Another universe. I'm here because we need your help.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is all the rage with Academy voters. The offbeat sci-fi movie picked up 11 Oscar nominations, including ones for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress for star Michelle Yeoh.
Time is the essential piece of interpretation.
Her biggest competition may be two-time Oscar winner Cate Blanchett for her award-winning performance in the drama Tar. Rounding out the category, Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans, Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, and what many insiders consider a surprise, Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie. Blockbusters made a comeback this year. Top Gun Maverick and Avatar: The Way of Water are nominated for Best Picture, a year after streaming films dominated the competition. Also nominated, Elvis, The Banshees of Inisherin, The Fabelmans, Tar, and All Quiet on the Western Front, Women Talking, as well as Triangle of Sadness. As expected, Brendan Fraser earned a nod for his role in The Whale. He's up against Colin Farrell from the dark comedy The Banshees of Inisherin, Austin Butler in Elvis, Bill Nye in Living, and in another surprise, Paul Mescal in Aftersun.
I think, honestly, it's going to be Austin Butler. There's extra weight to his nomination with the recent death of Lisa Marie Presley.
Who are you? Angela Bassett received a nod for her supporting role in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, a first for an actor in a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Steven Spielberg earned his 8th Best Director nomination for his semi-autobiographical film, The Fabelmans. 95th Academy Awards will be given out on March the 12th. Well, we've been talking about the winter storm. We've been talking about the wet roadways and even some slushy spots across the area. How long is it going to last, and are we going to warm up, or are we going to see more wintry weather? I don't know if you're going to like the answer, but we'll have it as soon as the KOAM Morning News returns. All right, we've been taking a look at the MoDOT cameras around the metro area this morning. As the sun comes up, a little easier to see. Still some slushy spots. They're all still definitely wet as we look at 7th and Garden Grove. This is 20th and Rangeline looking back to the east. This is 32nd and Rangeline looking back to the east. And this is I-44 and Rangeline looking back north toward 36th Street. So make sure that you're still giving yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Watch out for those slick spots. Watch out for that black ice. On the Kansas side of things, take a look. We're starting to see some improvements around the area as plow crews work their hardest to get out there. We've got some wet pavement for a good portion of the roadways in southeast Kansas. Some partially covered roadways, including around the Pittsburgh area. Parsons, still some covered roadways, but not as many as we saw earlier. On the Missouri side, where the whole state got in on some winter weather and plow crews out there busy as well. So we take a look in our immediate area, you can see some, again, improvements. The green on the Missouri side indicates clear, and you can see the majority of these roadways now clear, but we still have some partly covered roadways in Jasper, Barton, and Vernon counties. So again, just slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Light flurries out there, they don't really show up on radar because of how light snow is. It can't pick it up as well, but what it is picking up is some moderate snow, some light snow in our southwestern area. We're not anticipating this to cause any additional major headaches, but there still could be some flakes flying through the morning. We're looking at winter weather advisories still in effect for the counties in purple through 9 a.m. and winter storm warnings for the counties in pink holding on through 9 a.m. and this system will begin to exit about that time as well. 32 in Joplin, feeling like 24. Wet roadways at 7th and Rangeline as well. Northwest breeze at 9. Across the area, we're above average, but with a light breeze out there, does make it feel a little colder, but we're at 32 in Iola, 33 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, 34 Chetopa, Miami, and 32 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, and Nevada. After the system exits, we're looking pretty decent as we head for highs in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies, still some gusty winds pushing about 20 miles an hour, so it's going to feel colder out there. We're down to 22 tonight because we lose the cloud cover, we lose that blanket to keep the warm weather, the warmer temperatures in, and that could lead to some refreezing out there, especially along side roads and rural roads, but don't discount the main roads. Snow that melts could refreeze tonight. So again, tonight into tomorrow morning, slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Our alert day ends as soon as those winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings end. We're breezy tomorrow, 35, 48 Friday, 52 Saturday, evening rain turning into a wintry mix, maybe some light snow heading into Sunday, only 29, down to 18 Sunday night, 37 Monday, mostly cloudy, and then another chance of wintry weather as we head into Tuesday of next week and a high of 37. That's a check of your forecast. Now, why don't we check out Consumer Watch with Tanya Bach.
All right, America's largest banks are working to compete with Apple Pay and PayPal. 7 major banks, including Bank of America, Trust, and Wells Fargo, are working with early warning services, the company that runs their Zelle electronic payment service. The new electronic wallet, which will operate separately from Zelle, would allow people to make purchases online. Right now, Zelle primarily allows transfers of funds between people who know each other. The digital wallet is an attempt to regain banks' control of purchases currently being made using Apple Pay and similar services. The new digital wallet is due to launch later this year. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced another step she's taking to prevent the U.S. from defaulting on its debt. She told House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on Tuesday the Treasury will stop fully investing in the Government Securities Investment Fund. The Thrift Savings Fund portion of that is part of the federal employees' retirement system. That happened when the country hit the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling set by Congress last week. Yellen's action comes in addition to her previous announcement the Treasury would suspend investments in the Civil Service Retirement and Disability Fund and the Postal Service Retiree Health Benefits Fund. These actions will not impact employees who draw from these funds. Walmart is giving some of its U.S. hourly workers a raise. The company announced Tuesday it was increasing minimum wage employees' pay from $12 to $14 an hour. Walmart says this would bring the average hourly wage up to more than $17.50 an hour. The new pay will start next month. Walmart also announced it's expanding its associate to driver program to help workers earn a commercial driver's license to become a Walmart truck driver. In addition, the retail giant is adding new college degrees to its Live Better You education program. Both part-time and full-time associates can participate for free tuition. We'll be right back with more after this. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Roland Ludwig. The Joplin, Missouri native saw wartime duty from May of 1943 to August of 1943 as part of the 5th Army Panther Division. To Sergeant Roland Ludwig, a Purple Heart recipient, we thank you, today's four-state hero. Well, do you ever wonder what it's like to be a firefighter?
Well, KOAM's Amber Jenkins spent a day with the Joplin Fire Department to show us what it's like.
Clocking into work as a firefighter means checking equipment. After all, your life may depend on it later in your shift.
I think every day is different because we never know what we're getting into. That's what I like about it. The routine kind of gets a little bit the same. You come in, you put your stuff on the truck, you check your med bags.
Checking equipment includes testing the ladder, repairing switchboards, storing ice melt for the coming snow,
Right here, I'm the guy that ordered it.
and filling the tank.
We live at the fire station, so we have bedrooms, we have bunk rooms, we have laundry services that we wash and dry and clean our clothes.
When you're working 24-hour-long shifts, the fire station is your home. And like every home, the heartbeat of the station is the kitchen.
They're actually getting something, made with love and care and something that actually, home cooking as well.
While enjoying lunch, the station received a call for help. Being a firefighter does include fending off fires, but it also includes rescuing someone from an elevator.
Were you the lady that was stuck on here?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to do things that aren't the most glamorous, but you're helping that person and you're making sure Mr. and Smith have a better day.
The day ends with training. The firefighters sharpen their skills handling the jaws of life. Always ready for that next call. Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, if there's a job you'd like to see a snippet of, let us know by contacting KOAM's Amber Jenkins on Facebook.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating to see what these folks do on a day-to-day basis. And there's a bunch of interesting jobs out there that may be more interesting than you imagined. And for some of our younger viewers, you know, might be an interesting career choice. So make sure you submit some of those to us through Amber Jenkins on our website and through her Facebook.
That's right.
We are still watching some light flurries, light snow across the area, taking a look at the MoDOT cameras around the Joplin metro area. In fact, there goes a, I believe, plow truck down 7th and Garden Grove. That's where this camera is looking. Over to this side, we're looking at 20th and Range Line, looking back east. We're looking pretty good so far. The roads are still wet, they're still slick, but they're getting clearer. 32nd and Range Line. It's a little bright. I don't know if the sun's come down to earth or what's up, but it is pretty bright, but that's not snow out there. It's just very bright. And then looking back at the I-44 camera back north along Range Line, again, there's still some slushy spots out there, still some slick spots, so slow down, give yourself plenty of time. Road conditions across the area are continuing to improve as plow crews do their job. We've got some wet pavement across most of southeast Kansas, still some partially covered and even some covered roadways out there. Slow down, give yourself plenty of time. I think I've said that 12 times, but honestly, can't emphasize it enough. On the Missouri side, check this out. We're reporting clear roads across southwest Missouri. So again, though, still slick spots. This just means there's no snow cover on them. So watch out for those slick spots. Some snow still trying to build across parts of the southwestern parts of our viewing area. Most of us not seeing anything at all, and what we're seeing is light flurries. Still have winter weather advisories for the counties in purple through 9 a.m. Pink counties, that's a winter storm warning that continues through 9 a.m. Wet roadways, 7th and Range Line as well. We're up to 32 in Joplin. Sitting at 26 is what it feels like with a west breeze at 7. A cold but above normal start. 32 Iola, 34 Chetopa, Miami, and 32 Neosho, Carthage. Once we get through this, temperatures warm into the upper 30s to near 40, mostly cloudy skies. Gusty winds could push about 20 miles an hour. Tonight, though, we're watching out as we see the clouds clear. Temperatures drop quickly down to 22, and that means refreezing is likely, especially on side roads, rural roads, and that could still happen on main roads. So tonight into tomorrow morning, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. We're back with more right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Tornadoes caused widespread damage through the Houston area on Tuesday. One twister cut a path through the community of Pasadena, crumbling structures like this gymnasium and cutting power lines in some other areas. Storm system is moving east and is expected to thrash several states along the Gulf Coast. A lawyer for former Vice President Mike Pence says about a dozen documents with classified markings were discovered at his Indiana home last week and turned over to the FBI. The revelation came just days after Pence claimed he had been more responsible about documents than President Biden. Two special counsels are investigating Mr. Biden and former President Trump for their handling of classified material. Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Monterey Park, California today to visit with community members affected by last week's mass shooting. 11 people died after a gunman opened fire at a dance studio during a Lunar New Year celebration. Investigators are looking into the relationships the gunman may have had with the victims.
Once the snow gets out of here, we're heading for highs in the upper 30s to near 40, but we're going to have some gusty winds pushing about 20 miles an hour, so it'll feel a little colder. Mostly cloudy skies. Then we lose that thermal blanket of clouds as they clear out tonight. We drop quickly down to 22, so that could lead to refreezing of this stuff, especially on rural roads, side roads, but even on the main roads. We could see some icy patches out there tonight into tomorrow morning, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. We're looking all right tomorrow and Friday, and then Saturday, we're up to 52. Some evening rain turns into a wintry mix and light snow into Sunday, and we're only 29, down to 18 Sunday night, 37 Monday, and then another round of wintry weather Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and after that, man, it gets cold. We're talking 27 next Thursday, a low of 5. We only make it up to 16 by next Friday, and then longer range models are showing another round of wintry weather following next week. So there's a lot we're keeping an eye on. Mother Nature said, hey, this is what winter is, and decided to give us multiple chances of experiencing winter over the next couple of weeks. And of course, we'll keep an eye on all of that for you as we go through the next couple of weeks. So, but again, this morning, still dealing with slick spots, some slushy spots. Slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Let the plow crews do their job. Don't get right behind them or cut them off, because then they can't clear the roads and you're putting yourself in a very bad situation. So just be careful out there.
And for the kids who are going to school and needing to get out of going to school today, you have a chance next week. So there you go.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. But hey, the good news is this is a nice wet snow. It's good to make snowballs and snowmen with. So even though there's only about 2.5 inches in Joplin, you know, there's some snow out there. Well, thanks so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.